Okay, so I'm doing a soil test on a spot where I'm gonna put a food plot this year, and I'm using the Antler King Instant pH soil test. You can get it on antlerking.com, or I'm sure some stores might have it. And I forgot to video going and getting the dirt and everything, so I already got it mixing in this mason jar. But I'm gonna go ahead and go and dig up a random spot and explain how you're supposed to do it, just so I can have that in there for anybody else that wants to know. And I still got 2 or 3 more places that I gotta test, so I'll get videos of that too. But right now, I'm gonna grab my shovel, go over here and dig up some dirt and explain to y'all how you go about doing this. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, you need, they say you want to put 6 to 8 ounces of dirt into a cup and then pour an equal amount of distilled water into that cup. So what I did was I took this cup, holds 16 ounces, and what they say is you want to dig down about 5 inches into the ground. So don't get any soil off of that top layer that you're going to dig up on the first couple of shovels. What you want to do is get you a little bit like this right here, like this. Okay, get you some, put it in your cup, and get you a little bit more till it's about, looks like about 8 ounces, 6 to 8 ounces of dirt in that cup. And now, in a small food plot, 1/4 acre to a 1/2 acre, you only need to do it in about 1 spot. But on bigger food plots, you know, 1/2 acre and bigger, you want to go around 2 or 3 different spots in that food plot to get different samples from each spot, so that you'll have kind of a rounded pH of everything. So now I'm gonna go on over here to the truck and show you what you do next. Hey, as you can see, I already got the dirt from that other spot mixing in there. But what you would do is take this right here, dump a little bit in there, then dump a little bit of water in there too, and take a stick, stir it up, okay? And then you're gonna take more, dump it in there, more water till you got all the dirt in there. And I mean, you're gonna have some water left, especially on the first time, because you're only gonna put 6 to 8 ounces of water in there out of a 16-ounce water bottle. And you're gonna take that stick and stir it up, and you're gonna let it sit for 20 minutes. And in that 20 minutes, the pH is gonna, the dirt and the water is gonna neutralize to where you'll have an accurate pH in there when you stick your little tester in there. These right here, those testers is what you stick in there. And when my timer goes off for it being 20 minutes, I'll get back and show you how I'm gonna do that. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this test strip right here. All right, and you see there's this little litmus area that's about 1/2 inch. You're gonna stick only that into your cup, and you can use a smaller cup, but I had to use this and my fingers are too short to reach in there. So you're gonna dip that in there, take it out, shake the water off, shake it off, come over here to your chart, okay, and match that pH up to whatever looks about right, okay? So as you can see, I'll bring it over here. It matches up with 6.0 pH. I thought it was 6.5, but it's really about 6.0, probably about 6.2 or 0.3, something like that, you know, but right there. So that tells me, with what I'm reading over here, that what I'm gonna have to do, my target pH is between 6 and 7. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing is, if my target pH is about 6.5 per acre, I need to add 3.75 tons of lime. So since this plot is only about a half an acre, I'm just gonna add about probably 40 tons of lime to that plot, and that will be good enough for me to plant my clover. And I don't know if I'm gonna go with the Antler King clover. If you want to go with Antler King for clover, I'd do the Game Changer clover. I planted that without a pH test or nothing, and it did pretty good until we got a bad rain and it was on a downhill slope. And what it did was it washed all of it away. But I'm probably gonna go with some crimson clover, and maybe if I don't do that, I might do some cowpeas or something like that. But I mean, soil test simple. It's not hard. Anybody can do it, especially me. I've only been to like 3 science classes, so it ain't hard. But I still got 2 or 3 more places that I gotta test. And when I go test those, I'll get back with y'all. Okay, so doing a soil test at one of our places. And what you wanna do, this plot that I'm gonna plant, probably half an acre or a little more. And what you're gonna need to do is, like I said in the other video, is you wanna take a couple of different samples from different spots in that area so that you'll get a rounded pH. And we already got the dirt, but it was raining, so I didn't really want a video. And you'll take that little bit of dirt you got in there and go ahead and stir it up and make that soil slurry, is what they call it. Get that all stirred up, and it might, depending on what the soil is, like a lot of this is clay, so it's gonna be pretty chunky. It ain't gonna be very powdery, especially since it's wet right now. So it might take a little while to get it stirred up. Okay, just like that, and that should be enough. Get that stirred up, and you can kind of mash the dirt around if you want, make it a little easier. Put just a hair more water in there, about like that. Take it and get it all stirred up, crunched up and everything. And after you get done stirring it and everything, and it's ready to sit, you just gotta set your timer for 20 minutes and let it sit. And after them 20 minutes, we'll get back with y'all. All right, so we let it sit for those 20 minutes, and we're gonna stick this little strip in there, take it out, shake the water off, make sure it's all shook off, let it sit for just a second, kind of dry out. Take your sheet with these strips on here, and it's looking about between 5.5 and 6. Is that what you think?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. About 5. Wipe that water off. Yeah. Yeah, really closer to 6. So that's pretty good. That's a little bit higher than I expected. But now we're gonna say it's close to 6. And I'm gonna be planting rye. So I'm gonna want it to be between 5 and 7. So it's good right now to plant it, but if I wanted to put some lime, I'd probably put no more than 500 pounds. But that's it for the peelberry. And then after a while, I'm gonna head over to my buddies and we'll test that. All right, so we're out here at Landon's and we're fixing to soil test his place. And that's the last place that we got to test. And I'm gonna show y'all, since I didn't show you at the other spots, when you get your dirt, to go ahead and get that first shovel out of the way and get you a little more, and then get some of that in there. Take your cup, put a little bit of that in there, just about like that, since we're going to a couple of different spots. Okay, then we're gonna move This is only a 1/4 acre, but, and like I said, you ain't gotta do it in a bunch of different spots in a small plot like this, and it probably ain't even a 1/4 of an acre, it might be an 1/8. But we're still gonna get it from a couple of different spots just cause it doesn't hurt to do that. And I'm figuring that this soil is gonna be pretty low pH, maybe, since it's got a bunch of pines around it. And pines will, usually in pines, you'll have a lower pH than you would somewhere that had never had them. So we're gonna get this last spot, and after we get it, we're gonna head back to a spot where we're fixing to put a couple stands up to hog hunt, and we'll test this when we get there, so we can be putting stands up while it's being tested. But we'll get this tested and we'll let you know. All right, so we got to the spot where we're gonna put the lock-ons up and do a little testing while we're putting it up. And we don't have very much water because I forgot to bring some, so we're just gonna have to make it work. But I'm pretty sure that as long as you use the same amount of dirt that you do water, you'll still get an accurate test. I don't know why you wouldn't, but I don't know, I might be able to squeeze a little bit of dirt in there. A pretty good bit. That should be fine after I get it stirred up. And after we get it stirred up, we're gonna start the timer and go ahead and get these stands hung and corn put out while we're waiting. Setting the blind up for pig hunting while we're waiting on a ranger to cool down a little bit. And pop out first. After we get the blinds set up, we're gonna put out a couple of lock-ons. You got your side. Let me get this side. Move the door. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Move the door just like that. Alright, so we're fixing to test this, and my fingers ain't long enough to reach in here, so we're just gonna have to use this saw tool. Alright, shake it off. Go ahead and get your chart. Get it ready. And we'll see how this does. And it's looking more kind of about like 5.5 or 6. Probably closer to 6. So it's gonna be probably 5.7 or 8 since it's so close. But we're gonna plant clover back there anyway, so if you come to your chart over here, white clover's got to be between 5.6 and 7. So we might throw out about 500 pounds of lime or something like that, and that'll be good. But that'll wrap up this video, and we're fixing to get back to hanging these stands.